The barn door creaked open. I stepped inside, expecting tools. Hey, silence, but then I heard it. A soft, broken sniffle dot in the corner behind a stack of old crates was my 5-year-old son, dirty, trembling, his tiny face swollen and bruised. "Buddy?" I whispered, heart pounding. He flinched, and that's when I knew something was very, very wrong. He didn't run into my arms. He didn't smile or shout, "Daddy!" He just stared like I was a stranger, like he'd forgotten what safety felt like. I just returned home from a 14-month deployment overseas. I survived mortar fire, ambush, and nightmares most people can't imagine, but nothing hit me like the look in my son's eyes that day. I dropped to my knees, barely able to breathe. "Who did this to you?" He shook his head, silent. I wanted to scream, I wanted to rage. But I knew I needed answers, and someone was going to pay. Before we continue, please write in the comments which country you're watching this video from. Enjoy the story. I carried my son inside the house, heart racing. My wife Kara was in the kitchen, sipping coffee like it was any other morning. She turned, smiled. "Hey, you're early. How was—" I cut her off. "What happened to him?" Her smile froze. "What? Who?" "Our son. Why is his face bruised? Why was he hiding in the barn?" Her eyes darted. "He fell. You know how clumsy he is." Lie, I knew my son. He didn't fall and then hide from his mother. "Not like that." I stepped closer. "Try again," she laughed nervously. "You're being dramatic." "He's fine." Then he spoke from behind me in the smallest voice. My son said, "I don't like him." I turned. "Who?" I asked softly. He hesitated. "Mommy's friend. The man with the loud voice." I froze. That's when Kara snapped. "You weren't here?" She shouted. "You left me alone with a kid in a cold bed for over a year. What did you expect?" My blood went ice cold. She wasn't just hiding something she'd moved someone else in, and whoever he was. He'd hurt my boy. This wasn't just betrayal. This was war. That night, I didn't sleep. I waited until Kara was asleep and checked the security camera logs from when I was gone. What I saw made my hands shake. A man tall, mid-40s, smug, coming and going freely from my home. Playing in the yard with my son, drinking beers on my porch, kissing my wife. But one clip stopped me cold. It was 2 weeks before I returned. The man yelling, furious, slamming something on the table. My son flinched, and then Kara. She just sat there, silent, not stopping him. I needed to know who he was. I ran a reverse plate lookup on the car, parked in my driveway in those clips, and that's when I found it. He wasn't just some fling. He was her boss, divorced, with a record of domestic violence. My hands curled into fists. This wasn't just cheating. She let a dangerous man near my son, and I hadn't come home from war to lose the only thing that mattered to me. Now, it wasn't just about betrayal. It was about protection. And justice. I contacted a lawyer, then CPS, then booked a meeting with my son's school. It was go time. I picked my moment carefully. Kara had invited her boss, her lover, over for a small family dinner. They didn't know I was back early from my training assignment. They didn't know what I'd seen. I walked into the house, calm, but cold. My son ran up and hugged me tight. I whispered, "It's gonna be okay now, buddy." Kara froze. Her lover looked smug until I slid a file across the table. "That's your police record," I said, staring him down. "And those are surveillance screenshots. You assaulted my son," he laughed. "You've got nothing." That's when the CPS officer walked in, and 2 uniformed cops behind her. I looked at Kara. "You let a known abuser around our child. You knew. You let it happen." She tried to speak it even, but it was too late. The officer picked up my son and gently walked him outside. The cops cuffed her boss. Kara collapsed in a chair, sobbing, and I just stood there, silent. Kara begged. Tears streaming down her face, voice cracking. "Please don't take him from me." But I had already decided this wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about justice. About my son. He deserved peace, safety, a childhood without fear. As Kara was escorted to a squad car, her boss screaming about how I'd set him up. I followed CPS to the car where my son sat holding a small stuffed animal. He looked up at me. "Are we going home now, Daddy?" I smiled. "Yeah, buddy." Just you and me. But that wasn't the end. 1 week later, I stood in front of a courtroom, full custody granted, restraining orders in place. My ex-wife? Facing charges for neglect, complicity, and lying to authorities. But here's the twist that silenced everyone. I had recorded everything, from the first suspicious bruises to the dinner confrontation. The footage went viral. Millions saw the truth, and the world stood by me. Veteran, father, protector, Kara's reputation. Gone. Her job, fired, her lover, jailed, and my son? He finally sleeps through the night. Safe. So next time someone says, fathers are weak, remember this story, because when it comes to protecting our kids, we are warriors, and we do not lose.